Hey everybody, welcome back to Quali-Tea time. So, a little bit late on this particular episode. Basically my sleep schedule has been terrifying this past week, and it kind of caught up with me yesterday. So, apologies for that. Hopefully it's going to be a bit more in sync after this. But, first bit of news, well, I suppose first bit of news, you're wondering why is there a little guy sat in my mug. Here, this is a little loose leaf diffuser that my brother got me ages ago. And I just happened to have some loose leaf English breakfast, so I figured why not start an episode of Quali-Tea time. Trying a little bit something new with my tea, so yeah, there we go. So, first bit of news after that. MCM plans are significantly more up in the air than they were previously. Basically, I had about 300 quid just sitting in my bank account at the end of the month when nothing happens, and then I got a text message telling me that it was at negative 40. Now, I've managed to track down where about 150 of that went, and that was about all above board. And then the local council apparently stole about 160 quid of it. For near as I can tell, no reason, at all. I think what's happened is that the standing order that usually pays them halfway through the month didn't go through last month because I was very on the bone, and then it decided to try and catch up at the start of this month. But it's already out of the hands of the bank, so I had to go to the council and say, hey, I think I'm massively credited in your accounts here. Can I have some of my money back, please? And then I'll hopefully be able to pay for everything, but we'll see. Hopefully we can still do it. I'd really like to be back down there with Fuzz. Who knows, I might even be in the maid outfit again, but yeah, so stay tuned on that one. Other piece of news is that Undermine has its finale this approaching Friday, and then Spring Realms opens up on the Sunday for all of my wonderful patrons that are on the double take or higher rank, and that means there's going to be a lot of fireworks, and by fireworks I mean explosives. Pretty much just explosives, actually, but it should be fun. So we'll be having the finale on the Friday, and then the server will be offline for most of probably Saturday, maybe even part of Sunday, while I set up the map and the plugins and everything, it'll work in nicely. But other than that, on to the schedule. Tonight, Thursday, we have Midnight Souls at 11 PM BST over at twitch.tv/lyinginbedmon. On Friday, we have an episode of XCOM 2, where XCOM is getting some new toys to deliver to Advent. On Saturday, we have the Undermine finale video, as well as Dungeons & Dragon Hats at 9 PM BST over at twitch.tv/thedragonhat. On Sunday, we have an observation where we start getting to work on some roads. On Tuesday, we finally lay the Guardian farm to rest in Dungeon Maker, and we get back to Yogdorf's live number 57 at 9 PM BST over at twitch.tv/lyinginbedmon. Lastly, next Wednesday in XCOM 2, there is a charge to try and get that Doom counter down a bit. Shall we do some questions, Mr. T? Yes, we should. People ask them often. Okay, so these questions are, of course, drawn from the comment section of the preceding video, so if you happen to have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below. Our first question this time comes from Bo Nicholas Mattiasson. How many lines have you written as of today? I think at last count it was over a dozen. I'm going to wager somewhere in the region of 20, because there's a lot. There's the ones that have actually appeared in series, and there's the Forbidden Line, which is 7 in and of itself, so there's a fair few. Abby Snail 10 asks, any tips on fleshing out planets and cultures? Planets? If you know anything about Earth, making planets is relatively straightforward. You might not get it perfect to, geography and geology and all sorts, but you can do it. Cultures, the way I always look at cultures developing is that there was something that happened ages ago and it's just sort of spun forwards. So, for example, not inviting someone to, the name day celebration or whatever of a royal child, for example, is a huge snob, because everyone who is anyone gets invited to those, because that's how it's been. You invited the important people to this important child's, celebration. So if you don't invite someone, that means they're not an important person, even if it is centuries after this tradition has started. So basically, spin the clock back, see where it started out, see the geography, the economic situation, the culture that was present at that time, and then figure out what would have been, like, standard procedure, and then that will naturally, quite probably, get ingrained as tradition and culture and such, to the point where you can make some very interesting statements that make it some very interesting insults and such, as well as some guesses of what these people might now consider to be heavily important. So, that's one piece of advice, at least, on how to make cultures, is just spin the clock. But that is it for this week, so I hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to enjoy this cup of English breakfast once I actually get some milk in it and a small man out of it, and I shall catch you all next time.